Say it's good morning today. I got a fan club. They're in there just waiting. I'm not the one that feeds your asses. Yeah, if you notice, my language, I think it's just, I've gotten older. Now I just don't care at all. I mean, I always cussed, but I just don't care. But FYI, if you're curious, did you know that shit is actually an acronym for store high in transit? Yeah. They did that back in the old days because, they used manure more than they used, processed fertilizer. So when they would, take it all over the damn place, it stored up high, because of all the gases that released. You sure don't want a methane buildup when you're moving things around. Or, I don't know, pass out from smelling that stuff. All right. I'm actually really proud. This is kind of we'll talk about gas prices in a moment, but I'm really proud of some stuff. So if you see, if I can do this, and I'm not that good at this, so apparently I can't. So I'm going to turn around and just hope you see. So you see this? I am learning the old ways of building. That technically will be a foundation, just a little flat slab. And no, not concrete, but big rocks that don't move. You place them in a way that they're pretty stuck there. It would be an earthquake to move them. And then, of course, really tiny rocks to fill in all the gaps. And you get yourself a nice foundation. I'm also proud of that. It's my shit pile. If you're wondering where all my shits went, that's where it's at. Because don't give shits. Oh, yes. And I'm also proud of the garden. It's always nice to see when you grow this stuff, especially, well, you're a gardener. If you're a gardener, you understand. It's like, and you look out and you see green. It's like, oh, yeah, it's working. It's working real well. Green's always nice to see, like, oh, love it. Working on the fence, hopefully today. Kind of looks real shabby right now. The back one I really like the look of, which is why I'm changing up from just a piles of sticks to what the back one looks like. And it'll all look nice. And Reese can quit complaining. Okay, so gas prices. Gas prices have really leapt. Oh, it was taking like tiny baby steps. For those of you who have not actually completely paid attention, there are a few things that I watch on a daily. The Treasury bonds, the currency strength. What else do I watch? Oh, pretty much gold, silver, oil prices. Yeah, I'm not really worried about the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P because it's called gambling and it's rigged. So if you're playing against the house, it's kind of like, I don't really want to. It's nothing for me. So anyways, I watch gas prices. And they've been going up. I mean, you've heard about the record highs. And when it was first starting these record highs, I kid you not, it was like a penny, the next record high, half a penny, another record high. I mean, those kind of movements. And then all of a sudden it went from penny to like 3 to 4 pennies. It was like, what the hell? Oh, that's a big jump. I wonder if it'll do it again the next day, because one time doesn't really cut it. The next day, 5 pennies. 5 pennies? Okay, it's going up. The next day, 6 pennies. It's getting bad. It's getting real bad. Because you're looking, on the weekly movements, because that's a better indicator, of like maybe 3 pennies. That was the average. And I have to stress this too. These aren't really a long-term kind of things. We're not talking like it took months for it to get this way. It's weeks now. Weeks is like, holy shit. And the thing that's the precursor of this, is the diesel price, because it's diesel trucks that bring your gas to you. So when you see the diesel price going up, that delivery guy is going to say, yeah, it's going to cost a little bit more to me to bring you this gas. And because I got to, pay my bills too. And guess what? Shit rolls downhill. You paying that price. You don't know you're paying that price because you don't ever put diesel in your vehicle. But in the end, you're paying that price. So now your gas is going up. So every time you see diesel going up, you should know in your little brain that gas prices are going to go up. And it will continue to go up as long as that diesel price is going up. Guess what else is going up? Food prices, because that diesel guy that drives that giant truck is bringing you your food. Farming, oh gosh, they use diesel. I think that's all they use. I don't know of any real big farming equipment that doesn't use diesel. I don't know. Maybe they're out there, maybe they don't. Quad uses gas. I guess if you use that, you got some savings there for a little bit. So diesel guy, he's making everything go up. Oh, it's diesel's fault. Or it could be, shutting down places where you drill, not renewing leases, not opening up exploration, shutting down refineries. That poor diesel guy, he gets the blame for so much, but it's not his fault. It's not Putin's fault either. Oh my God. So this is the other part that gets me. So I'm hearing these stories from mainstream news, and some people are saying it, and it kind of confuses me. Of all these people now getting on airplanes to fly. Now, mind you, it takes diesel trucks to bring this jet fuel, which is basically, I think it's kerosene, to these trucks or to the airports. I'm like, we're pretty much in a really bad economy. Even if you live in a bubble, the guy down the street who used to have a factory job or some other job, who doesn't work anymore because of whatever. I mean, pick your poison as far as how bad it is. And all of a sudden, airport traffic is like through the roof. It's higher than it's ever been. Everybody wants to get back to normal. That's what it is. That's why we're canceling flights. That's why things are delayed. We're having a pilot shortage. And I'm going, if it weren't for the fact that people are saying, oh yeah, the TSA line was really long today and blah, 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 blah. I'm sitting there thinking, okay, this doesn't make any sense. Money is literally in the toilet for people. They don't have savings. Yet for some reason, everybody's going on vacation. And then you start paying attention to what these people are saying. So the TSA, yeah, their lines are longer. And they've only got one open. Or in the really busy airports, they've got 2 to 3 open. But it used to be just mass amounts, every gate open with TSA. I was like, oh, okay, all right. Starting to make some sense where some of the fabrication's coming from. A pilot shortage, a lot of them that they don't tell you about ended up or clots. So it's like that could be a shortage. And they weren't allowed to fly unless they, censor myself so that I don't get in trouble with YouTube. I'm sitting there thinking, okay, the flights have not increased. I don't believe that for a damn minute. And when I flew last year, and I was quite surprised, this was Labor Day weekend, and I just was like looking around, wondering, I was like, okay, it's not like, oh my God, busy, but I am surprised at the amount of people that are here, considering all the news that I know is going on. And then I start listening. I'm not going to be nosy, why are you traveling? But I start listening. And the thing that I'm finding from those at that time, and I said it back then too, is that all these people, not all of them, there was one group Out of the many flights that I took, one group that was going on vacation. Everyone else was either coming from a funeral or going to a funeral. I was like, oh, okay. Well, that's the majority of everybody that was on my plane across the country, because that's what it was going to a funeral. And I don't really, and they're saying that was high then. Like it hasn't stopped. The demand for flying hasn't stopped. And they're all going to funerals, I guess. TSA shut down. Oh, it's busy. Of course it's busy. If a 5-person job is now cut down to a 2-person job, those people are walking around with no time to spare like a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. Makes a little bit of a sense, doesn't it? I don't think it's busy. I think those numbers are fabricated. They've got a misery map for, what is it? It's Flight Tracker. They have a misery. I cannot remember the name of the website, but basically if you put in Flight Tracker, they've got a thing in there somewhere that talks about the misery map. The misery map talks about delays and cancellations. And wow. They sit there and the only news you heard about was Labor Day weekend because of the influx. Labor Day weekend, 3,300 flights canceled. Delayed. Well, you know what? That's actually not news in itself. It's just the one time they started to talk about it. You're looking at thousands of flights a day canceled or delayed. And delayed in a sense of where they're missing their next flight. That might as well be canceled. That's what's going on. This isn't new. So, yeah. Things aren't making a lot of sense. The it's okay crap that they keep trying to pour down our throats, it ain't happening. It's just going to get worse and uglier. And from the gas prices themselves that are going up and the fact that it's increasing in speed, that's the scary part, that it's getting so fast. Here's an FYI. If you look at history, the Weimar, because we have more recent info and we can see the timing it took to get there. You're talking about inflation that lasted for like 5 years. And I mean in the sense of inflation lasting until it got to hyperinflation. So you got 3 years of this not hyperinflation, but just bad inflation that people are like, oh, 30, 40%, which is basically where you think you are right now. For those of you who actually pay real bills and buy real food and not government fudged numbers. You see this and you go, oh my God, well, Mandy says Weimar took this many years at this much inflation before it got to hyperinflation. If she says it's 30, 40% is not hyperinflation, like, holy cow, that's just going to be normal for a while. No, honey. See, they've been hiding inflation from you, and it's been this way for a few years. It's called shrinkflation. See, they subsidize dairy products, and they've tried to subsidize to, in a sense, the gas by cutting away taxes for some of these states because they're trying to hide it. And I think some have come to the conclusion it's over. Because the few things that you can hide it with is milk and gas, dairy products, because the size never changes and the price moves. You don't sit there and go, you know what, this month I'm going to buy half a gallon and I'm going to pretend it's 1 gallon. That doesn't work. So they've got shrinkflation that's now been going on for quite a few years. We are at that precipice. They can't really hide that anymore. The subsidies for dairy can't hide it anymore. Taking away the tax from gas, can't hide it anymore. Your Cheez-Its box that went from 32 ounce to now it's like 16, 12 ounces, can't hide it anymore. And it's going to get ugly. And it's going to get ugly fast, which is what we're starting to see with these gas prices. And hyperinflation, I swear. We're either knocking on the door of it, hello, and waiting for it to answer as it turns the knob, or it's here.